Welcome back to JB Reviews. Today, this is a follow-up video for the fuel filters video I did. We're going to install 2 new filters on the truck. These are 2 filters I recommend that you do by yourself, and there's a reason why, because you have to clean the areas where these filters are, and I think that it helps to benefit, the job, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and get into it. If you haven't done so yet, be sure to like the videos. It's going to be good. Subscribe to this channel, and let's get into the video. Before we get started with the install, I want to show you where I bought the filters from. They were from Gino's Garage online, and here's the Fleet Guard. Unfortunately, it is out of stock until late December, and I just noticed that their air filter from Mopar is not due back until January 15th. This is the one I originally tried to buy, but it was out of stock for 31 bucks. Lastly, you do have your cabin air filter. This one is in stock, and actually no, this is actually on back order through November 5th, which this is November 1st, so this one will be back in stock pretty quickly. And they do have a generic one if you'd like too, and here's the part number for this one. Now let's get back to the video. The very first filter we're going to do is going to be the cabin filter. This is super easy to do, in my opinion. There's a few things you have to do in order to get this filter out. For example, this little guy here, you have to undo this, and the next thing we're going to do is drop this down. So you don't have to take anything out of here, but I'm just going to show you guys pretty much what it looks like when you take it out. In order to get this little guy off, all you have to do is just slide it down into the slightly larger hole, and that'll pretty much release it from this, okay? The next thing you have to do is push this really hard to the side. Do the same thing on this side, and it will release this out of its position, like so. And it will just pretty much drop down as you just saw there. And that first filter is right here. It's really easy stuff to do, I'm telling you. Just gotta take it easy. Don't break all this cheap plastic stuff that these manufacturers put on here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull the cover off. Hopefully you guys can see this as I'm doing it. There's 2 little clips on the side of it. I'll show you when it pops out. Let me put the camera down. It's hard to get it with the camera in my hand. Alright guys, so it comes out just like this. And like I said, there's a clip on this side right there. There's one on the other side, and then the filter, you see how it has the airflow arrow going down. That's how you're going to put the new filter in, so just keep that in mind. So let's see how dirty this thing is. I have not replaced this yet, so you can see there's a little bit of stuff in there. It's not too bad, but what we're going to do is I'm going to show you why you should do this by yourself, because I do something, it's an extra step that will really help with this, okay? So one of the things I like to do is I like to use some compressed air just to kind of clean the area. Believe it or not, you can't really see it in the video, but there was some dust particles flying back out at me when I was using this compressed air. So it's just an extra step I like to do just to really get it clean. If you want, you can use like a kind of a damp rag just to kind of clean it out too, just to add an extra step to it. So as you guys can see, this is the old filter, and there's just a few things in here. I did kind of beat it out a little bit, but this filter has 22,000 miles on it basically. This is the new one here, and it's pretty much white. So we're gonna go ahead and put the new one in. Now, like you guys saw, there is like a small fan down here, so that's kind of why I pretty much put that compressed air in here, just to kind of clean out anything that might have gotten through, and just to kind of get any particles lifted up too. So all we're gonna do now is just put the new filter in and put all this back together. Remember the airflow for this, so you can see the arrow going down. So that's the way it has to go, and then you just slide it back in, and then you have to remember to put your cover on. Remember, it goes like this. And if you do forget, it does show you airflow and the arrows down, so it matches the filter too. So it's really easy stuff. I mean, like I said, this is something you should just do on your own and don't pay a dealership to do it. So I'm gonna again put this all back together, and I'll just show you the steps reversed too, that way you can remember how to do it, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Once you put this back on, you'll hear a clip sound on both sides of it. Be sure that you have this on secure. I had a Dodge Durango where I guess this piece came off and the filter started to kind of get sucked into the piece down here. I don't know how it happened, but it started making weird noises inside. So we're gonna put the glove box back together. Remember, you have this piece you have to put back on, and just put those little small plastic pieces into the fitting here, and it'll pretty much go back in like it originally was. All right, so remember you have to click this back into that little piece here. It goes up like that way, and now this is in securely. One thing you want to make sure of too is that those legs on this glove box sit in there securely, or like I said, it won't operate correctly. And the cabin filter is completely finished. Now let's go ahead and check out the Fleet Guard filter I have here. Alright guys, so this filter takes a little bit more time because there's a lot of bolts. So there's 1 right there, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's 6 bolts in total. You can unclip these plugs if you like. I don't normally do anything with these. The filter will come out pretty easy. Now I'm going to show you something I do once I take this air filter apart. So give me 1 second. One thing that I strongly recommend is that you use just a regular Phillips head screwdriver. Don't use any power tools because these bolts are not that strong, and you don't want to over tighten these because this is just all plastic. So it's going to take you a little bit longer, but I just recommend just doing it the long way. That way you don't have any issues with this. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get this first bolt out. And what happens is once you get it untightened, you have to pull up on it, and then it has to go through a few more grooves, and then it comes out completely. You can just set it up on the cowl up front, and I got 5 more to go. Okay, so I'm gonna time lapse this. Alright, and it's pretty much done. So I'm just gonna be able to lift up like this, and all you have to do is just lift out the old filter. It's a little warm in here too. I just went for a drive a little while ago to pick up some food. When you pull out the old filter, you can pretty much see that there's leaves and stuff in here. So what I normally do is I get my vacuum cleaner, I vacuum all this crap out of here. I take a damp rag and I just wipe around the edges, and I kind of wipe up top here too. Because again, you want this to be clean at all times anyways. And like I said, I think it just makes me feel better in my spirit. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a rag. I'm gonna get my vacuum cleaner, vacuum all this out, then I get a rag and I'll clean it all out, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like afterwards. So here's before, and here's after. And this is it pretty much wiped down. I gotta do a little bit more vacuuming. There's a little bit more like bug guts in here. Thankfully it's all hard, so. But check out the filters. This is the old one, obviously. This one's a little bit more oranger from what I can see. And you can see it has a bunch of debris, all that in there. So it's really dirty compared to the new filter. Now this is a Mopar filter. So here, let me dart down. Pretty dirty, as you can see, and it's indestructible too. Actually, it's pretty strong. Didn't really break down at all. But the new filter is a Fleet Guard, and if you look at this one and then look at this one, they're pretty much exactly the same. There's no difference. I don't know why Mopar redesigned it and made it white. I don't know why they did that, but hey, this one was on sale. The Mopar one was on back order, so I figured I'd just take this one off their hands, and it was $6 cheaper. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it back in here, and that will effectively end this video. I got the new filter in, nice and clean, and that's pretty much done. So You will not see a dealer clean out your air filter box like this. That's why I recommend doing this yourself. The same thing goes for your cabin filter, being able to put some compressed air in there. So like I said, just be sure to add this to a list for you to do in the future. At least even if you don't want to change the filter, you can always vacuum it out like I did, just to check to make sure you get all that debris out of there, because again, I know dealerships don't do that. Alright guys, so that will pretty much complete this video. As I mentioned earlier, these things are extremely easy to do. I strongly recommend that you take on these projects. I think that they're super easy, kind of fun too, and it just helps to kind of just add that extra protection to getting all that debris out of here. And I don't normally do my own oil changes. I don't normally do my own diff changes, things like that. I don't know how to do diff, honestly. I have never done it before, but I'd like to have these things documented, especially like when people pull Carfax on the cars when you go to sell them. It says regular oil changes, so I prefer to have that on there. So I don't normally change my oil. If you would like for me to do a video on changing the oil, I mean, I can. There's a lot of videos out there, so I think that there's a good opportunity to go out and check those videos out. But on that note, thanks again for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Be sure to take care of your Cummins, and I'll see you guys in the next video.